Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Omori. So, in the time it's been between recording sessions, John played the entire game. Huzzah!
Yes, I no-lifed this game for pretty much an entire week. Like, I spent about 4 or 5 hours a day just playing the game from front to back, just so that I could potentially add more to the commentary, since I was genuinely curious of what was going on the screen. But, you know, this being a commentary channel, we were generally skimming a lot of dialogue, and I could only pick up context clues here and there for what was exactly happening on this. So it's like, all right, you know, I said it, I teased enough that I was going to play this game, and 7 Rebirth is still not out yet at the time of uploading this or recording this. So, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go fucking marathon the game
in a row. Wow, you do like to live dangerously, don't you?
Yes.
Like,
why? Just yesterday, I tied my shoes all by myself.
Get on my level. I'm in the middle of playing Daggerfall and Morrowind back to back. Jesus.
Man, you guys have way more balls than I do, because I'm wary to even start an RPG before another RPG is like just about to come out. Like, no thanks.
Well, that's the thing. Like, on a surface level, this game looked simple enough, gameplay wise, and it is. In fact, I would think the gameplay is probably the weakest element of Omori.
It is a true Earthbound clone. Holy crap!
We can get into like the intricacies and the nuances of it later, but it's not a bad game. Like, it's good. It's just that it's not really as in depth as I was hoping it to be, but at the same time, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because as I thought was the case, this game is more about just telling the story and getting you involved in the game's world and the characters, and it's not too worried about having a very in-depth battle system.
That is unless you know about the kill nuke strat.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, the Kel Nuke thing only works and is so prominent. It's because you don't have to keep playing the game. But we can talk about that later. But
I mean, to be fair, every RPG has like an overpowered move or set of moves that will break it in half. You know, I can think of plenty of RPGs where
I had to use the console to turn my Morrowind character mortal again after experimenting with alchemy and giving myself stats that were over like 100,000 each. In a game where you're supposed to max out at 100. So, yeah. RPGs are like that.
So, I missed the last session completely because of other engagements, and I was just busy with other things. So you guys did the Sweetheart stuff already.
Yeah. Yes.
Which I guess is a blessing in disguise, because that was actually the weakest part of the game for me. Because, like, Sweetheart as a character is fine. I just think the entire adventure through everything involving that castle was a waste of time. Does not serve anything to the plot whatsoever.
Well, the plot to the dream world doesn't seem to be super cohesive from what I've seen, at the very least. Like,
which is deliberate to a point, and I understand that there is a point to the Sweetheart stuff, but that only matters once you understand what's actually going on.
From what I could tell, being the still blind resident of this playthrough, it was meant to be a mirror, not a mirror, but like an analog to how Sunny is handling his emotions, like and almost like an alternate view where like Sunny is going inward and Sweetheart is projecting outward all of her.
But this thing, like, everything in Headspace is based off of something that is a part of Sunny's life, IRL. But every other area in the game, at least from my experience, has ties to why he conjures up these things, or why he sees these things, or why these things are the way they are in Headspace. I thought Sweetheart Castle was the only time where it didn't really matter. But again, that's ignoring the whole reason why it's there in the first place. It's just that on a surface level, I think it went on a little too long.
It certainly did seem like a long dungeon because we were in there for like 3 or 4 parts, and they weren't short parts either.
Yeah. I'm not gonna like. I don't think it's exactly a problem. I think it's actually pretty normal for the mid game of an RPG to have a fairly meaty dungeon to chew through as sort of a mid game gameplay climax.
And like it had great moments. I didn't catch it, but did you poison the chef?
No, I did it correctly just to do something different.
Oh, okay. Damn. I poisoned that guy first try.
Yeah.
Like without meaning to, and I laughed my ass off.
The whole sweetheart dungeon was the part of the game that seemed to go ham on the dream world concept, to be honest, and I like it. What was with the random Japanese letters there?
It's an Asian lady running the fish stall.
These are part-time jobs that you can play in the real world segments. You just do this for cash and achievements.
Yeah.
And to slightly change the ending a bit, but it's minuscule. You don't need to do this.
Yeah, it's inconsequential.
Yeah, you don't need to do this. So you're mainly just doing it for extra cash and an achievement. And even then, depending on like how you play the game, you may not even need that extra cash because the real world segments are pretty linear and railroaded. Again, it's more about telling the story rather than the gameplay.
Yeah. Got $4 for handing over trash.
Man, I wish I could get money that easily.
Well, I wish I got paid in that amount of money because, like, as a kid, if you recycled like cans or paper and all that sort of thing, you get like a nickel.
Yeah.
Or a dime, not $2. Like that could have paid for like fucking Pokemon cards.
As is, a pack of Pokemon cards is like what, $5?
Yes.
So that's 100 nickels, right? Yeah. Which is 100 cans.
Yes.
Which is a fucking lot of cans.
It's a lot of cans, but it's if you don't mind digging through the trash, it's not impossible.
Pulls up sleeves. It's time to go. Time to go sweep the sides of the highway.
I'm gonna need 10 minutes. Oh, is there a hotel nearby? This is gonna be easy. So this is so we're in 2 days left.
Yes.
In terms of the real life segment. So Hero is now with us.
Yep. He saved the day.
Yeah. Because this is after Aubrey pushed Basil, into the lake, albeit like in a huff. She didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
But
is Basil
still,
the villain of this game?
There isn't really.
It wouldn't be correct to answer that with yes.
Okay.
Like, and there's nuance.
There isn't really the villain of this game.
There is, but it's a spoiler. Without like getting into it. But all I'll say right now is that I am very glad that I put time aside to play this for myself. Because that genuine curiosity paid off, and I remember earlier in the commentary I was talking about how, you know, it seemed like everyone and their grandmother at some point was making an Earthbound inspired RPG, like from an assembly line, and it's easy to kind of roll your eyes at the notion of it, but this is probably one of the best ones I've played.
I feel like it's more Undertale, because Undertale is pretty famously inspired by Earthbound, and Undertale went like through the roof pretty much. So I feel like it was that success which really like skyrocketed these kinds of games into, you know, people making a lot of them all at once.
Yes and no. I would still say Earthbound was the major inspiration for this one.
Well, no, I'm not saying that this game was inspired more by Undertale than Earthbound. I'm more saying that Undertale's success led to more people making Earthbound-inspired games because they realized that there was a market for that and like people would actually play it.
That together with the translation of Mother 3 and the surge in popularity that enjoyed.
Yeah. Because you have to remember that Earthbound has a huge cult following, but it's still, sold terribly back in the day. It was sold to an oversaturated market. Like, there's a bajillion SNES RPGs out there with hard competition, mind you. Like, there's a lot of really good ones, too. It's not just like there's a lot of, schlop in that market. And on top of that, I guess you could say Earthbound is ahead of its time in the sense that it tried to go for an art style that on a system, it tried to go for like a specific minimalist art style before that became super popular. Like when you think about games on the SNES that have really specialized art styles, what you might think of is like Donkey Kong Country or Yoshi's Island, which are still like graphically, technically impressive games. Versus something like Earthbound. Earthbound does have a specific style, but is it technically impressive? Not really. So, whereas if you make a game like this today, Omori, it's more seen as a deliberate visual choice versus back in the 90s, people were more quick to just say, oh, this game looks bad. It's bad graphics. That's the more immediate response. So
it also didn't help that the tagline for the game was, "This game stinks."
Well, the advertising campaign for it was awful.
Well,
Also, not for nothing. I understand like they're still kind of on the young side, but these motherfuckers just have a gas lantern lit up underneath fabric inside of a house.
oh shit, you're right. Maybe it's one of those toy lanterns that only looks like it's got a flame inside.
yeah, I was gonna say like an artificial lantern that's made to look like a flickering flame. There's a lot of those.
Are we sleeping over Kel's house?
No, they're sleeping over our house
Oh, okay.
because they know we're moving soon, and for old time's sake, they want to give us a visit.
I like how the two of them set up a tent and they angled it so that it completely obscures them from Sonny while he's in his bed.
They gotta keep the player in mind. They have to make sure that the person. Oh, hey, there.
What you thinking
buddy.
about? Sad.
Every time these cutscenes come on, I just expect to hear. See, it's just like the end where he vanishes from being a comic book person. It's all coming together.
The Take on Me music video is weird.
Have you seen the literal lyrics Take on Me music video?
Yeah, I have, and it's hilarious.
That's like an extremely 2009 music video, but in the best way possible. Okay, why does Sonny imagine Hiro as always wearing pajamas? I don't get it. Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not going out there.
Does that happen every time you look out the door? Or just
No.
that time?
No,
Just that
not all
time.
the time. So also to clarify on something, we're in one of the earlier parts, we were wondering why Omori is $30 on the Switch or on console specifically, and only $20 on Steam. The console versions of Omori have extra content.
Oh, okay. What's the extra content?
It's an exclusive boss rush.
Oh, okay.
And it has some more, I guess, lore to the game story.
This is kind of sad. Do you want to play? You are all alone. Do you want to play hide and seek, and you just look for your reflection in another mirror?
Found you.
So where is everyone?
Everyone's gone missing.
Does this happen if you don't do the real world stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the next section of the game is required. It just plays out differently.
Okay.
You're not on the picnic basket. What have you done with Mari?
Can I save here?
So, John, you said did you only get the quote unquote good ending, or did you do a bad?
I played. So there's two routes. There's the Sunny route, and then there's the Omori route.
Okay.
I played the Sunny route, which is the good ending. Yes.
Okay.
I have intentions of playing the second route, but not now because you got to play the game again. But there is a bunch of new stuff that you can do in the headspace, like the dream area, that you can only do in that route. So it's like if you want more of a traditional RPG, then you play that route.
Just know you're getting the bad ending if you do that.
You're getting the bad ending if you do.
Well, the neutral endings, as they're called.
Given where things end up, I think it's, now that I have the context for it, it's a bad ending.
Yeah.
I wonder if they specifically tried to make these look like the Pokemon swimming sprites. Because I'm getting major Gen 1 vibes from that.
Oh, I'm surprised they make the obvious Gen 3 joke. I'm proud of you, Ted.
What? Oh, because there's too much water?
There's a lot of
Listen,
water.
I just don't think about Gen 3 all that much.
It's so easy.
It's weird, too, because I played a lot of it. I played a lot of both Ruby Sapphire and Fire Red Leaf Green, but I just don't think about it that much. Sorry. Oh, is Mari on our team now?
She's following us, but she won't be in battle or anything.
Okay.
Well, this area looks miserable to play through.
A little bit.
It's not as bad as it looks.
The atmosphere is certainly working, even just as an observer.
Yeah. The area is despite how spacious it seems, it loops really fast. So you can't travel very far no matter which direction you go.
It also seems very clear where you have to go. These landmarks are pretty distinct.
Get in the jar, Omori.
So that photo is a burned up photo of Sunny, Mari, and their parents.
Yep.
Mm.
They just basically never say where their parents are, right?
Well, the mom contacts you through the phone, but because she's reminding you that you're moving in a couple of days and you get ready for the movers to arrive. The dad, though, that goes deeper into the story.
Oh, he's actually relevant? Okay.
Your mom's not a phone. Duh.
Oh my god, now that's a joke I haven't heard in a long, long time. Man, I wish my dead sister followed me around, giving me emotional
Where are we
support.
going? I can't see. I'm bored.
It's easier to see on a big TV or an
My
OLED
feet hurt.
screen.
Is there an option to get rid of the background or no? The cropping.
Oh, the borders? Yeah, there is.
Okay, so you could just have
these are also exclusive to the console versions. You don't get this in the PC version.
Oh, okay. So is it just always at a 4:3 ratio?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
It is weird because I could have sworn that when I was looking up what version of RPG Maker that this was made on, RPG Maker MV was what came up. And I'm pretty sure that does 16:9, but I don't know.
It's very clearly a design choice. It's just I guess they want it to feel more like the 90s, kind of like how color didn't exist until around 1930. 16:9 didn't exist until 2002. So you have to keep things accurate.
Yeah, colors didn't exist until a woman tapped her shoes together.
So if you're playing through the game just in Omori space, none of this is going to make any sense, I'm imagining, because you don't know why Mari is doing
Things play out similarly, but for different reasons.
Okay.
It's not too much of a stretch to call both routes completely different games. You're still exploring the same general areas, but both routes have areas that are exclusive to those routes.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not doing any of the above. You can't do any of the above ground stuff if you're always in the dream.
Yeah, well, you are not doing the what the hell is the name of the town again? Faraway Town, I think it was.
Faraway Town, yeah.
Faraway Town. Yeah, you're not doing that at all.
Damn, Omori has all the HMs: Surf, Defog, Whirlpool. Wow.
So, out of curiosity, I just Googled when 16:9 aspect ratio started using, and the answer surprised me. For a while, starting in like 1930 or so, it was the standard aspect ratio for movies. So
Yeah, I mean, that's not too surprising because I think, like, as far as television, like, being more pronounced and, like, the VHS days, you know, you always had that warning that this movie has been reformatted to fit this screen, and that's because most movies back in the day were always filmed in a widescreen.
Well, yeah,
or a wide format.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, widescreen as we know it today for movies is actually a wider aspect ratio than 16:9. So,
well, that's an IMAX thing, I think.
It's not an IMAX thing. No. The aspect ratio for movies. Let me see. What is the movie theater aspect ratio?
Because if I remember correctly, Batman Dark Knight like swaps between aspect ratios all the fucking time.
Well, the aspect ratio for movie theaters, let me see, is something absurd like 2.4:1 or some shit. Let me see. Yes, it's 2.4:1.
Oh, Dark Knight Rises, excuse me. Dark Knight Rises swaps between aspect ratios. Okay.
Okay, 2.4:1 is the aspect ratio of current anamorphic widescreen theatrical showings. 1.85:1 is the aspect ratio used for most U.S. theatrical showings since the 1960s. And 16:9 is just is like just slightly narrower than 1.85:1.